The air is thick, humid, and heavy with the promise of a coming storm. The kind of oppressive Florida heat that makes the world feel slow and hazy. But in the quiet suburban street of Mount Dora, something is moving with cold, primal speed. Something that doesn't belong here. On a manicured lawn, a shape slithers low, a living shadow among the palm fronds. Its eyes, the color of wet amber, watch a little girl playing. A child lost in a world of sidewalk chalk and innocent laughter. The shadow shifts, its long, powerful tail trailing through the clipped green grass. A low hiss escapes its throat, a sound like steam from a broken pipe. The girl freezes, her chalk dropping with a faint click. She sees the unblinking eyes, the rows of serrated teeth. Her heart leaps into her throat, a frantic, trapped bird. A single scream, high and thin, rips through the afternoon quiet. It is the sound of a childhood shattering, of safety slipping away. And in the doorway of the house, a man stands, frozen for a single, agonizing second. He sees the monster. He sees his daughter. He knows that in this moment, everything is about to change. Something terrible has already happened, or is about to. This is not a story about a hero in a cape. This is a story about a man in socks and sandals. A story about a father who, faced with a nightmare on his front lawn, didn't panic. He improvised. We've all seen the videos. The grainy footage, the shaky camera phone held by a trembling hand. A man, calm as a monk, walking toward a living dinosaur, armed with nothing but a blue recycling bin. It's the kind of story that shouldn't be real. The kind of tale that feels like a punchline, a meme. Florida man fights gator with trash can. But beneath the viral humor, beneath the millions of shares and likes, is the raw truth of instinct, of protection, of the thin line between a peaceful life and pure chaos. This is the moment a man became a legend, a living embodiment of the absurd, terrifying, and utterly human desire to protect what you love no matter the cost, no matter the weapon you have at hand. This is the day a recycling bin became a shield, a trap, and a symbol of impossible courage. Before the viral video, before the news crews and the late-night talk show hosts, Eugene Bozzi was just a man, a U.S. Army veteran. He had served his country, seen things most people couldn't imagine. But those were different battles, fought in different places. This was his home, his yard. He had settled in Mount Dora, Florida, for the quiet life, the sunny afternoons, the slow pace that felt like a reward for a lifetime of hard work and sacrifice. He was a father, a provider, a neighbor who waved hello. The bond with his daughter was the center of his world. She was his everything, the reason he worked, the reason he woke up in the morning. Their little family unit, a perfect suburban picture. He had built this life brick by brick from the ground up, and it was a good life. He'd never expected to face an old enemy here, not one with scales and a tail, not on his own front lawn. His professional life as a veteran had taught him discipline, a sense of calm under pressure, and the ability to size up a threat and act. But nothing in his training prepared him for a 7-foot reptile with a territorial streak and an afternoon appointment with his little girl. The suburbs of Florida are full of surprises. People move there for the sunshine, the golf courses, the retirement communities. They don't move there expecting a dinosaur to be hiding in their bushes. But that's Florida. The lines between the wild and the tame are always blurring. The wilderness is always a breath away, a rustle in the bushes, a shadow in the water. The creature was an American alligator, a formidable predator native to the wetlands of the southeastern United States. This particular one was estimated to be around 7 feet long, a significant size for a non-trapper to encounter. Alligators are cold-blooded, and their metabolism can be sluggish, but when they need to, they can explode with shocking bursts of speed. Their bodies are built for power, armored skin, a crushing bite force that can shatter bone, and a long muscular tail that can act as a weapon, capable of knocking a human off their feet. This one was no exception. Its dark green, scaly hide was a perfect camouflage against the swampy backdrop of the nearby retention pond. Its snout was broad and rounded, a telltale sign of a gator, distinct from the sharper, V-shaped snout of a crocodile. Alligators are generally wary of humans, but they are also opportunists. They can become territorial, especially if a food source or nesting area is nearby. This alligator had likely wandered from the retention pond in search of a new hunting ground or simply gotten lost. Its hiss was not a warning of cowardice. It was a clear sign of irritation and aggression. It was a message: "You are on my territory now. Stay away." This particular reptile, in its own primitive way, had already established dominance. It had hissed. It had made its presence known, and the small, defenseless human child had been its target. The warning was clear. The threat was real. And Eugene Bozzi, standing in his doorway, had to make a decision. A choice between waiting for help that might be too late or facing the monster with what he had. The problem with living in a place where the wild meets the suburb is the constant low-level hum of danger. Most people get used to it. They see a small gator in the retention pond and shrug. It's part of the landscape. They see a snake and they just give it a wide berth. These were the ignored warnings, the small signs that safety was an illusion, the occasional news story about a pet disappearing near the water, the cautionary tales that people tell and then forget. In this neighborhood, they'd seen alligators before, but they were always far away, a part of the scenery. Never like this. Never on the front lawn. Never so close to a child. The breakdown of safety was a slow erosion, a series of small events that, in hindsight, were leading to this one, dramatic collision. The day started like any other. The sun came up, the sprinklers came on, the birds sang. There was no sense of impending doom. The only sign, the only warning, was the child's scream, the sound that breaks a parent's heart and focuses their mind. It was a signal that the silent agreement between the human world and the wild one had been broken. The unwritten rule that says, "Stay in your lane," had been violated. And now, the situation had escalated from a curiosity to a full-blown emergency. The gator wasn't just passing through. It was asserting itself. It was a territorial challenge. It had seen a potential meal or a perceived threat, and it had acted. And Eugene Bozzi, without a thought, a professional plan, or even proper shoes, stepped into the path of that threat. He didn't have time to call a trapper. He didn't have time to wait for the police. He saw the danger, and his paternal instinct took over. The safety of his family had already broken down. Now he was all that was left to repair it. The only thing standing between his daughter and this ancient reptile was his will. 2:47 p.m. The high-pitched scream slices through the afternoon quiet. Eugene Bozzi, in his living room, drops the remote. His blood runs cold. He knows that sound. It's the sound of fear. He runs to the front door, his mind a whirlwind of possibilities. A scraped knee, a bee sting, a fall. Nothing prepares him for what he sees. His daughter, frozen in terror, pointing a trembling finger. And on the lawn, a dark shape. A living, breathing, hissing 7-foot alligator. Its snout is pointed toward his child, its tail slowly swaying. The raw, primal fear is instantaneous. 2:48 p.m. He doesn't stop to think. He doesn't grab a phone. He sees the gator's size, its aggressive posture. He knows he can't wait. He runs back into the garage. He looks for a weapon, a tool, anything. His eyes land on the blue recycling bin. It's the only thing big enough, solid enough. It's an absurd choice, but it's the only choice. He grabs it, its lightweight plastic a strange comfort in his hand. He holds it like a shield. 2:49 p.m. He walks back outside. He is wearing sandals and socks, a detail that will later become part of his legend. He doesn't feel the ground beneath his feet. He is hyper-focused. The camera phone starts to record, held by someone else, a terrified neighbor or family member. The video captures the surreal scene. A calm man in shorts, slowly, deliberately, approaching a dangerous wild animal. He holds the bin out in front of him, the open end facing the gator. The gator, initially startled by this new strange object, hisses again, a louder, more threatening sound. It backs away a few feet, its prehistoric brain unable to compute the strange blue predator advancing on it. 2:50 p.m. The standoff begins. It feels like an eternity. The gator is wary but still territorial. It lunges forward, a quick, jerky motion. Eugene holds his ground. He uses the bin to parry the lunge, a defensive move that surprises the reptile. He is like a matador, using the plastic bin as his cape. The gator's aggression is clear in its posture. Its body is low to the ground, its powerful tail ready to strike. The hiss is constant now, a low, menacing rumble. 2:51 p.m. Eugene sees his opportunity. The gator is distracted, confused by the strange object. The reptile moves slightly to the side. Eugene lunges forward, a flash of speed that belies his calm demeanor. He slams the open lid of the bin down, not on the gator's head but just in front of it. The sound is a loud, dull thwack. The gator, stunned, recoils. Its instincts take over. It thrashes, a wild, powerful motion, its tail whipping through the air. And in that moment of chaos, it lunges forward again, blindly, into the very thing it was trying to escape. The recycling bin. 52 p.m. The moment of truth. The gator is halfway in, its tail is still outside, flailing. Eugene, with a superhuman burst of strength, slams the lid shut. The sound of the plastic locking into place is the sound of victory. The gator is trapped. Inside the bin, it thrashes violently. The blue plastic container shakes and rattles, the sounds of a captured monster. He can hear the heavy thudding of its body against the inside walls. The neighbor filming gasps. It's over, but the hardest part is yet to come. 2:53 p.m. He has to get the creature to the retention pond. The gator is still fighting, a contained, angry force. He grips the handles and starts to wheel the bin, the plastic wheels groaning under the weight. It's a slow, deliberate walk. He can feel the power of the beast inside, its desperate attempts to escape. The bin shakes, it rattles. He keeps walking. The gator, he later said, was so powerful, he had to hold on with all his might. 2:55 p.m. He reaches the pond. The calm water, a stark contrast to the chaos he has just endured. He doesn't hesitate. He tips the bin sideways. The lid comes undone. He is still too close. The gator's head emerges first, its yellow eyes still angry. He tips the bin all the way. The gator slides out, a final, powerful lunge into the water. And then, Eugene Bozzi does what any sane person would do. He sprints. He runs back, away from the water, his sandals flapping, his heart pounding. The gator, now free, disappears beneath the surface, a dark memory fading into the murky depths. The camera stops recording. The silence returns, and a legend is born. In the age of social media, the emergency response isn't always the first call. It's the video upload. Long before anyone in the Mount Dora Police Department or the Orange County Sheriff's Office was aware of the incident, the video was already circulating. By the time the call came in, the alligator was long gone, back in the water. The initial 911 call was a mix of breathless shock and amusement. My neighbor just trapped an alligator in a recycling bin. The caller, presumably the one who filmed the video, exclaimed. When officers arrived at the scene, they found Eugene Bozzi, slightly out of breath but completely calm. He recounted the story with the same quiet confidence he had shown during the confrontation. The officers, used to the strange realities of Florida life, still found the tale extraordinary. They took a report, but there was little to do. No one was hurt, and the perpetrator had already been released back into its natural habitat. The police report, if one exists, must be a strange read. Suspect 1-1. American alligator, approximately 7 feet in length. Weapon used 1-1 blue recycling bin. Suspect apprehended, transported, and released. It was all so utterly surreal. The Orange County Sheriff's Office, showing a remarkable sense of humor, later tweeted about the incident, reminding the public that alligators are not recyclable in your blue lid cart. It was a lighthearted note on a serious situation, a testament to the absurdity of the entire event. For a moment, a routine call had become a viral phenomenon, a bizarre, captivating story that everyone wanted to share. And then, a new chapter to the tale. Just a few years later in Jacksonville, another man, a professional this time, would use the same absurd tool. Mike Dragich, a licensed alligator trapper, received a call while at Easter dinner. He arrived shoeless, A professional on an emergency call and, in a similar fashion, used a trash can to contain a 7-foot gator. The video of his effortless expert capture went viral too. The woman in the video is heard cheering him on, a crowd gathering to watch. It's a testament to the strange, shared reality of life in Florida. Even for a professional, the tool of choice can still be something as mundane as a trash can. It's an unspoken acknowledgement that sometimes the simplest solutions are the most effective. The video was a firestorm. Within hours, it was everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It was on the local news, then the national news. Eugene Bozzi became a folk hero, a living meme. He was dubbed the Alligator Man and Florida's finest. The media descended on Mount Dora. Journalists from around the country wanted to talk to the man who fought a gator with a trash can. He gave interviews, always with the same quiet humility. He wasn't a hero, he said. He was just a father. He did what he had to do. His story was a refreshing break from the usual news cycle. It was a tale of simple courage, of a man acting on instinct. The legal consequences were non-existent. No laws were broken. He hadn't harmed the animal. In fact, he'd safely removed it from a residential area. The animal was released unharmed. The only consequence was fame. And with fame came a public reaction that was overwhelmingly positive. People were amazed, amused, and inspired. He was a symbol of resourcefulness and bravery. The public embraced him as a reminder that heroes can be found in the most unexpected places, doing the most unexpected things, and wearing the most unexpected footwear. The socks and sandals became part of the lore. The Orange County Sheriff's tweet became a famous punchline. The recycling bin, once just a humble receptacle, was now an iconic symbol of a one-of-a-kind confrontation. The other incident, with Mike Dregich, reinforced the legend. It proved that this wasn't just a fluke. The trash can was a legitimate tool, at least for some. It was a bizarre, uniquely Florida solution to a very Florida problem. Dragic, the professional, used it as a matter of course. He explained his method, the way the large, hollow can disorient and trap the animal. He too became a minor celebrity. The incident also served as a stern reminder. Pay attention to your surroundings, Dragic told reporters. The wild is always there, lurking just beyond the edge of your lawn. The story was no longer just about one man. It was about a collective Florida experience. It was about the strange coexistence of suburban life and primeval danger. It was about the shared understanding that in this state, you never know what you'll encounter on your front porch. And it was a story about an ordinary person, pushed to an extraordinary act, who found a way to win. The story of Eugene Bozzi and the recycling bin is more than just a viral video. It's a modern-day fable. It teaches us that the best tools are often the ones you have on hand. It reminds us that courage isn't about being fearless. It's about being terrified and doing what needs to be done anyway. In an increasingly complex world, this simple, absurd act of bravery stands as a beacon. It's a testament to the primal, unbreakable bond between a parent and their child. A bond so strong it can turn a U.S. Army veteran into a gladiator with a blue plastic shield. The monster on the lawn was real. The fear was real. But so was the father's love. And that, in the end, was the only weapon he needed. A man in socks and sandals, an alligator, and a recycling bin. This wasn't a fight. It was a lesson. And the most chilling last line of all is this: what's in your recycling bin? Because in Florida, you never really know.